March the 1st, I received an email entitled David Cameron Hill's Historic Moment in Welfare Reform. The main points were the benefits cap, which ensures that no one can get more than £26,000 in benefits, and the universal credit, which will ensure that work always pays more than being on benefit. Taking the first of these key elements, benefits cap, £26,000 seems like a lot in benefits, but what does it include? If you include rent, then if your rent is £2,000 a month, you will be left with £2,000 per year for all your other bills. If that is the case, then Cameron, in my opinion, is saying that they don't want those on benefits living next door to those with millions in the bank. Move them out of central London or wherever. I wonder just what is covered in that £26,000 cap. I, for one, don't think anyone knows but the government. They could include anything that is given without charge to an unemployed person or family. As the cost of living goes up, more and more people on benefits may be hit by the £26,000 limit, as their benefits should increase, but because of the cap they won't. This may be because the rent has increased along with council tax, and thus I believe that the government will not increase the £26,000 in line with inflation every year, so that more don't fall into the capped figure of £26,000. The second key point Cameron highlights is universal credit, and Cameron saying it will ensure that work pays. Well, isn't that what JSA is supposed to do? If you find work, you are better off. Just what jobs does Cameron think are out there? A lot are filled internally and then advertised to comply with the law. The job seeker who phones is then told the job has been filled. In reality, it was never there. So much for the 460,000 jobs available. In my opinion, at least half are filled internally. Could be more, could be less, I don't know. Cameron says these reforms will change lives for the better, giving people the help they need while backing individual responsibility so that they can escape poverty, not be trapped in it. Okay, if we're getting £30,000 to £50,000 in benefits, but only £27,000 in a job, and then get your benefits capped to £26,000. What are your chances of getting another job if you give up work because you get more by being unemployed? Try telling the prospective employer you give up work because you could get more on benefits. What does that say to the prospective employer? Take me on, if I find somewhere offering more, I'm off. The employer won't give you a job. Tell them you give up work for any other reason, you'll be questioned. And they will see that if it came down to money, you still aren't going to get a job or an offer of a job. Your actions of giving up work because you could get more on benefits has just about made you unemployable. The email goes on to say that past governments, I assume we can include the last Conservative government in that, have talked about reform while watching the benefits bill rocket. Thatcher's government moved unemployed people from unemployment benefit to incapacity benefit to keep the jobless figures down. Labour seemed more willing to allow immigrants to fill any vacancies and just even just come and claim unemployment benefits. It is my opinion that these immigrants are rarely threatened with a loss of benefit, as they will claim racial discrimination, something the government doesn't want to be seen doing. The email goes on to say that our new law will mark the end of the culture that said a life on benefits was an acceptable alternative to work. It could be claimed that the government are in part responsible for this life on benefits culture. How, I hear you say? Well, children see their parents unable to find work as they are passed over for either ethnic minorities or the job just didn't exist in the first place. So, if previous governments dug their own grave, have they made the young of today hand out payback for the present government because their fathers found work hard or impossible to get? Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. It just the email then says they are putting in place sensible modern welfare system that protects the vulnerable. Our opponents have shown that they are on the side of Britain's something for nothing culture. My opinion is that the only people on the side of something for nothing brigade are those who don't want to work, and they are possibly the minority. The rest just want to be able to live on the benefits while they find work, work that doesn't exist in my opinion, as many jobs there are, as mentioned before, are filled internally. If Cameron wanted to protect the vulnerable, then why is he going and is Gestapo changing disability benefits to kick 1 million off them? You do not have to change the name of the benefits to screw with the qualifying conditions. If you want to help the vulnerable, the email goes on to say they have stood up against the abuse that left taxpayers footing bills of £30,000 or even £50,000 a year in benefits. It's a fair principle. A family out of work or on benefits shouldn't be paid more than an average family in work. This email then goes on to say that part of the government's task is to turn around a legacy of debt, overspending, waste they inherited. They want the money to go to the people who need it, not subsidising consequences of a broken society. You only have to look at government spending since 1900 to see that until 1914 debt was going down. Then the First World War came along, debt rocketed. After the war, it started to go down again until, you may guess, 1939, when World War II came along and debt rocketed again. Since then, we have had the Falklands, Iraq twice, and Afghanistan. Not forgetting Northern Ireland, not so much a war but close. This to me says that when the government need money for their own needs, not ours, they can always find whatever amount it takes. The email says by reforming welfare, they will get people into fulfilling jobs, not abandon them to poverty and dependency, save billions of pounds of taxpayers' money, and make sure those who really need it get it. Does anyone but Cameron and his ass-kissing group believe that? There are not as many jobs as the job centre, and some they advertise say the applicant could only get 2 hours work per week. The government is already abandoning people to poverty. Atos knows, as they are part of it, and we finally have it, Cameron in writing saying that he will save billions of pounds, when before he had said it wasn't about saving money. You know a politician is lying, he opens his mouth. The email has the audacity to call it a compassionate modern government action. Not in my opinion. It isn't. It's back to 1933-45 Nazi Germany, with the persecution of select groups.